Welcome to Not Suitable for Democracy, the podcast about the problems facing American democracy and how to solve them with organizing. I'm your host, Nick, and on today's episode, we're diving into 5 special elections so far in 2026. Now, no two Democratic candidates are exactly alike, but between Texas, New York, and New Jersey, we are seeing that Democrats are overperforming at the polls, and more importantly, the progressive candidates in all those races are making history. How did those candidates win? What issues were they running on? And most importantly, where does this take us beyond February 2026 and well into the midterms later this year? We're about to find out on Not Suitable for Democracy. Now, before we jump into it, I just want to say, there is so much going on in our country right now. People are afraid, people are feeling hopeless, and people don't know where to turn. I just want to say for everyone tuning in, thank you so much. There is so much going on in everyone's lives with huge burdens on all of our shoulders. And for you to take the time to want to participate in our democracy, want to learn more, and want to connect with people around the country who feel the same way, think the same way, but more importantly, just want to make our democracy a better place for everyone. We can do that. So I just want to say I appreciate you so much for tuning in. It means a lot, especially the time it takes to create these episodes. Sometimes I can't get them every week, but what I can do is try to share insight and value to hopefully, maybe open our minds a little bit, but even more connect with others, because that is how we bring people into the fold, come together, and make our democracy stronger. So if you like what you hear and want to learn more, I encourage you to subscribe to Not Suitable for Democracy. And you can find Not Suitable for Democracy on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Or you can follow along on social media on my Instagram and TikTok. I use the same handle for both channels, so you can follow along at NSFD_pod. Okay, we have 5 special elections to cover, so let's start in Texas. Now, the 18th Congressional District of Texas, that covers the Houston, Texas area, including downtown. Now, that special election was triggered on March 5th after Sylvester Turner, the former Democratic rep, had passed away. So, 13 days later, Christian Menefee declared his candidacy for the 18th Congressional District. And there were 3 candidates running, all Democrats: Jolanda Jones, City Council member Amanda Edwards, and the Harris County Attorney, Christian Menefee. Now, Christian Menefee, he is 37 years old, a millennial. He was born and raised in Houston, Texas. He studied to become a lawyer, and after the 2016 election, he knew he had to get involved in politics. So then in 2020, he ran for the county attorney, and he defeated a 3-term incumbent. So with this election, he knew he was running against 2 other Democrats, and he won the special election with a plurality of the votes. He came in first with 29% of the vote. City Council member Amanda Edwards came in second with 26% of the vote. And last but not least, Jolanda Jones came in third with 19% of the vote. However, in Texas, the special election is called after a candidate wins a majority of votes. That means they get 50% plus 1. A plurality just means you have the most votes out of everyone who competed, not necessarily more than 50%. Fun fact, President Trump did not win the popular vote with a majority of votes in 2024. He came in with 49% of the vote, meaning that he only won a plurality. So keep that in mind. Fast forward, that triggered the runoff, which was held on January 31st, which was a Saturday. So, of course, Saturday meaning, more people have an opportunity to vote, less people are working, right? But, of course, it also means a lot of people have plans. They want to make use of their time off, right? So a lot could happen. Nonetheless, during the special election runoff on a Saturday, Christian Menefee crushed it, and he won that runoff election between him and Amanda Edwards with 69% of the vote. Incredible numbers. Now, Amanda Edwards, she came in second with 31%. She lost. But it was no surprise that the progressive Democrat won this election. So not only did Christian Menefee have roots to the district, did he have good organizing, but he also ran as a true progressive. What do I mean by that? Well, I follow this account on Instagram called Stalking the Capitol, and they do a really good job breaking down the fundraising for candidates and incumbents in Congress and the Senate. So, for example, Christian Menefee. So let's start with Amanda Edwards. Amanda Edwards, she raised $1.7 million. Christian Menefee, he raised $2.2 million. Now, that's great. Now, you're probably thinking, how did Amanda Edwards raise so much money? She raised $1.7 million, mostly from large dollar donations, right? It was about 94% of all of her donations from large dollar donors, meaning that her donations were mostly $200 or more. However, we also know that she took $5,000 worth of corporate PAC money. So even though $5,000 was a sliver of her $1.7 million, $5,000 corporate PAC money is one penny too far. My whole goal is to get money out of politics, so the fact that she accepted so much, disqualifying, no thank you, I'm out, don't want to hear it. Not for me, no thank you, goodbye. If we're trying to get money out of politics, we have to put our money where our mouth is and be serious about not accepting any corporate PAC money, even if it's a small percentage of your total funds. Christian Menefee, on the other hand, he was raising 23% of his donations from donors donating $200 or less, or actually under $200. So 23%, mostly grassroots small dollar donations. That is huge. More importantly, he accepted $0 and rejected all corporate PAC money in that election. And he wound up raising $500,000 more. So that, inspirational, incredible, and I'm so happy to see it. Now, one thing I'll say is that he does own $130,000 worth of stocks. I know for some people that's disqualifying, but he is a private citizen, and Christian Menefee committed to selling off that $130,000 worth of stock when he's in Congress, because he also is supporting a ban on members of Congress trading stocks. This is huge. The fact that he has stocks, is going to sell them, and then ban members of Congress for doing it, that is putting your money where your mouth is. And better yet, he is going to be advocating ending Citizens United. We talked about Citizens United on the first episode of this podcast. For those who might not be aware, Citizens United was the 2010 court ruling where the Supreme Court said that super PACs are allowed to pretty much fundraise unlimited amounts of money and flood our elections with corporate PAC money because they are using the assumption that money equals speech. Free speech is protected under the First Amendment. So because money is speech, you can't curb money because that would be going against your First Amendment rights. Even if it's PACs, even if it's companies, these aren't people, these are, PACs. But nonetheless, the Supreme Court felt a certain type of way, and now we've been dealing with the consequences ever since. So Christian Menefee is fighting to overturn that. That is huge. We should all be demanding all of our members of Congress and any level of government to be rejecting PAC money and to be fighting to overturn Citizens United. So the fact that he's leading the way for his campaign and he won with 69% of the vote, that is incredible. So a huge congratulations to Christian Menefee, who is leading by example and winning his election on the small dollar donation formula, just like Bernie Sanders did in 2016 and 2020, running on a small dollar donation model. Even though Bernie Sanders didn't win, he proved that it can be done. And we're seeing that play out right in Texas's 18th Congressional District, where now their new member of Congress was sworn in on February 2nd. I mean, Christian Menefee did not have to wait 7 weeks like Analillia Mejia, so I'm glad that he was able to get sworn in very quickly. But nonetheless, congratulations to Christian Menefee, and I cannot wait to see what he does next.